Alright, quick little video, well, hopefully. Want to kind of show off a deck that I've been working with here. Let me organize this a little bit better so some of these things are easier to see. Um, so basically, what I was working with initially was I wanted to play um, some cards from the new set um, that I felt were getting a little, a little overlooked. Um, Main one being Tinker's Tote. So on the surface, it's a worse Omen of the Sun, right? It doesn't have flash, doesn't give you a life gain when you cast it. Um, you gotta sacrifice it, so I mean, overall, you're spending more money. You don't get the scry on the backside. Um, so on the surface, it's probably worse than that. But what it is it's an artifact that creates artifacts. So it's going to give you, three artifacts that come into play when it's cast or when it enters play, which is pretty relevant when you combine it with a card like Reckless Fireweaver, right? So it's 3 damage every time this comes into play. And since I'm a big fan of Recommission, as you've probably already seen if you've caught any of my green-white proliferate videos, um, people might have forgotten that this gets back an artifact and a creature, or a creature rather, right? So you have a cheap way to get these artifacts back. They can sacrifice themselves, and you can get like these big chains that get you back the creatures that you need to facilitate it, um, or get you back the artifacts that you need to put these big bursts of damage. So it's not uncommon for me to something like have out the Reckless Fireweaver. Um, excuse me, feeling a little under the weather and pretty sore. Got back injuries, coming over a cold. Um, Trying my best. Um, but it's not uncommon to have a sequence where you get a Fireweaver out, you play a Tinker Tote, you ping him for a few damage, you sacrifice it at the end of the turn, or use it for like Voltage Surge or something that sacrifice, get that Tinker Toad into your yard, and then on your next turn recommission it back, sacrifice it again, recommission it again, or use emergency weld, or you can flicker it back to your hand now with core Skyfisher. Originally it was kind of all in between the Justicar, because this also likes the number of artifacts that enter play. You could take it like an affinity approach and get mirrors and mirror enforcers for cheap, because you're going to generate a lot of tokens that are also artifacts. But originally it was kind of all in Mardu, um, pushing those artifacts, using the artifact lands and cleansing wildfire to kind of draw extra cards, build your mana up so you can do multiple things in a turn. And it was fun. It was doing really well. I think I got well over 20 reps just playing it in the historic best of 1 queue against normal decks, and it was winning at a fair clip against some pretty reasonable decks. It was really grindy. It was coming back from a lot of matches, and ultimately I just kind of made a decision that hey, I mean, it's cool, and I could modify it a little bit from that original core that I posted in the complete wrong thread, which was a big mistake on my part, not cool. So I just adapted it, put in the Skyfisher, added Tithing Blade, because, why not? It's extra removal, it works well in the deck. Between this, Recommission, Emergency Weld, Skyfisher, I mean, you effectively have 12 Tithing Blades. I mean, in reality, if you want to, kill these, kill creatures. So, that is, a good way to run these things. And you can just kind of get things back with Blood Fountain. I don't know if all the numbers are correct, but I've played a few reps with this now, and it's doing really well. Obviously, Historic Best of 1 is not Historic Pauper. Metagame's different. We're not even really worrying about a sideboard now. We're just kind of running through its paces, looking for things to be wary of. things obviously like graveyard hate. Since you're recurring things, you have to be aware of relic, so you want to make sure that you're hedging against that in your sideboard. When you do, or if you do place a deck like this that's interacting with the graveyard, you want to make sure that you have ways to keep your creatures from being exiled themselves, because if they get exiled, you can't bring them back from the graveyard. So your Deadly Disputes, your Fanatical Offerings, these help you there. So you may need to fudge the numbers. Justicar may be irrelevant. You may just want to go straight to Core Skyfisher. But I kept him in there because the life gain is relatively important. There are some other options that people have suggested on seeing the list, and they are certainly valid. There's a lot of ways that you can take this. You could peel out the black and just go, red-white. You could peel out the white and go red-black. If you really wanted to, you could take out Fireweaver altogether and just use, black-white as your shell and go more artifact base and, start running Mirrors Enforcers and other improvised cards like that, that big one. I think it's like a 5/5. It costs like 6, but it's got improvised. Can't remember what it's called. But I mean, you could effectively cast that for cheap because you're putting so many artifacts into play, thus reducing its cost by a ton. You've got the Courser, I can't remember what it's called. I always forget the name, but it's the 2/2 flyer for 3 that reduces the cost of your artifacts by 1. So that makes your Tithing Blades cheaper. So there's a lot of interactions within the Mardu colors that give you a lot of options for artifacts and how you approach either like affinity or enter the play value engines. So I think it's definitely worth taking a look at and messing with. But I'm gonna see if I can run a few games just so you kind of get a feel for like what the deck's supposed to do. Hopefully we get some matches that showcase that and we don't end up in a lot of bad matchups. The other day, oh my gosh, I had some really rough matchups that somehow somehow made it through. Oh look, somebody might want to play here. Hold on a second. Oops. Sure. Yeah, okay, this is good. We'll play yes please. Yes. Challenge. Ready. Okay, so maybe we'll get one. Now we're not going to be running a sideboard in this because we haven't gotten to that point. This was just kind of moving the shell away from its original version, which was just kind of Mardu machine gun style, right? We were just focused on getting out the Fireweaver, chaining that Tinker Tote, keep recycling those things, getting them alive, and hitting them for as many pings as possible. And we weren't really focused on that. So I'm assuming they're bringing a tournament quality deck. Fabric Magic's a good player. They're probably going to bring something of good caliber. So this will be a good kind of test. We aren't working with a sideboard in this one. But it'll probably be a good opportunity to see, like, if they board in things like Relic of Progenitus, that's obviously going to be a problem for us, right? So what would you need? Oh, man, we're still doing deck. Yeah, this is still challenge, still not working. Stupid. Let's see if we can. Let's message them again. Let's see. Like direct challenge. Just still maybe it's just my connection. I don't know. I do have a bit poor internet connection here, so we'll see if we reconnect and get it. not sure what's going on here. I don't know if my connection's bjorked or what. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, everything's kind of cancel. Okay, so cancel challenge. So Fabric Magic looks like direct challenge is not working. Alright. I'm just gonna try and play a game real quick and see if my connection, if we get another direct challenge, we'll try again. But in the meantime, again, we're just hopping in historic best of one, and kind of hopefully see if we get a few matchups to see how things go. Oh, this is. Let's see what I say. Okay. Let's see if we can get a match, and then we'll try again with that, because we do want to try and get some Pauper games just so you kind of see it, even if we aren't running a sideboard, and I think that's okay. This is a perfectly fine opening. We can fix all our mana. We got a Fire Weaver. We got a Recommission to get it back. We got a few bits of damage with Vampire Kiss, so we'll go ahead and keep this. So we'll lead out turn 1 tap land, turn 2 cleansing, and then turn 3 we'll put out another land with Fire Weaver. Oh, cool, even more. Nope, don't do that. Careful. Yep. Action. Let's get oh, and we got our Tinker Toad. So what I'm actually gonna do here is I'm gonna try to double spell on my turn 3 and just go straight into Fire Weaver Vampires. Ooh. Or you know what? I think we'll do. Yeah, no, let's do this. Since we got cleansing, let's build our board a little bit more. Action. And we always want to get more swamps, because that's usually the most cards that we have in that. Perfect. Alright. So now we can really hit him for a big chain here. So we're gonna hit him for this. We're gonna hit him for that. We're gonna hit him for that. All right there. Boom. 2. No attacks. Okay. So now we already have Tinker Toad Sacrifice, and to recommission it so we can pip him for another 4, get him down to 8. Sure. We don't need to block that. Let's just do damage. So we're looking at potentially 8 on the board. So yeah. So right there we've got double recommission. We don't have the white, unfortunately, to go to double recommission there, right? So we could have sacked, recommissioned, and then probably just wildfire to get some more, see what else we get. So we couldn't quite go off there, but if we had a third white, which is something maybe I should have got an extra white there, having 2 recommissions and Tinker Toads in hand, that was probably my bad there. So you need to be conscious of like how many times you're doing that, because you do need to have, white and black are going to be kind of your most important colors. Black usually because you get most spells in that, but in this case I drew into more recommissions. But I think I probably should have played that a little bit better. But so that's something where you can sack, recommission it, sack it again, recommission it, and you're getting all those pips, all those little piddly little dudes, right? So it does put a lot of pressure on your opponent right there, which is it's tough for them to overcome that many pings. So we'll get another little one there. That one started off, that was pretty good. That was a pretty good sequence of draws. We had all our mana. We were allowed to go quickly. I think that kind of shows off. Well, let's see if Fabry wants to try again. I was able to play with some. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Let's see if we can get one more with Fabry here and get a Pauper game, because that'll be, again, it's a better representation of what you'll actually face. Like, I mean, that was just kind of a slow green deck. I don't know what that person's playing. I mean, you'll see slow green decks, but I mean, a start like that in Pauper isn't very scary. That is a I play Pauper green decks that are faster than that one, whatever that thing was doing, but I'm sure they had something in there that was going to be good if it got going later on. But when you don't have to interact with your opponent, when you're forced to throw something in the way, don't really worry about it. But I think that's where, again, recommission works really well, because it gets back everything that's relevant in your deck, really. I mean, sure, it doesn't get back your instants. It doesn't get back your instants, doesn't get back your sorceries, but everything that's important, your Fire Weavers, your Core Skyfishers, your Tinker Totes. Come on, let's see if it'll do it. Fingers crossed. I don't think it's going to. It's taken too long. Usually it accepts a lot quicker. I don't think it's going to do it. But yeah, I mean, it gets so many cards back. It gets back your I'll play another one here. I mean, I think it's probably getting the idea of it. I'm hoping maybe I get a grindy game, even when I don't win. Like, I played some matchups that were really tough, and this thing just grinded through till the end, and eventually like turned the corner. Like, I was playing against a white deck, like a white life gain deck that was really putting the pressure on. Like, it was in the like high 20s, low 30s for life for a while, and it was just taking forever to get there until I could finally get like a way to remove their Soul Warden, and then I was just blocking like a Johnny Primates that were double digits power and toughness, with my tokens, and just eventually recurring and whittling them down, stabilized at like I think I got down to like 2 life at some point, and then kind of stabilized right around 7, which is hanging around, and eventually got there. And then same thing, and this was before I made the change to the Skyfisher. I think it's actually better now. I had less removal in that version. And then I played another one. It was kind of like a Bant adventure deck where they removed my red mana off the board, and I was just working with white and black for most of the game, but again, eventually turned the corner, got a mountain, and was able to go. Yeah, got all my colors. This one's fine. I'll be able to get my second Fireweaver, or I'll be getting a core Skyfisher. So that's perfectly fine. I'm okay with that. Again, that you can recommission your faceless agent. Another slick little trick with this, that you're gonna get more creatures, right? You let your faceless agent be a blocker, you recommission it, now it's a 3/3, and you get another Skyfisher that can bring back more Titans, can bring back more Toads. Okay, so cool. We got a Cleansing Wildfire, so I think that'll change how we approach our first turn. Alright, so let's go here. Let's cleansing this, yes. We've got a bit of black, so we've got 3 black pips in our available mana, so let's go get some more white now. And we got a recommission now too. Perfect. So I think what we'll do is we'll just lead out this next turn, Fireweaver, Vampire's Kiss. Okay. I'll go here. I'll go Fireweaver. I'll go Kiss. Is this not? I was going to say, did what they put in prevent me from doing that or something? I don't know. That's weird. So got recommission to get it back. There's a good chance that we're going to get. Alright, so let's ping them for. Well, let's put the Toad out right now because we've got recommission. Tinker's Toad. Let's bring this out. Skyfisher or Reckless Fireweaver, either's fine. That's cool. We'll attack. And so next turn we're looking at Fireweaver, Tinkertoad, and that'll just, reel him for 6. Cool. They can landfall stuff all they want and make do. It's not gonna matter. It's fine. One big dude is not gonna be a problem. Sure. That's okay. Alright, so we are going to Fireweaver, pull another one. Tinkertoad, ping him for another 6. And so what this does is this puts a ton of pressure on them, right? So right now we've got 2 ways to kill them. We don't need to attack. If they come through, they're obviously not going to kill me in 1 turn unless they have something pretty miraculous here, and we can crack back with with 6 points, and then all we need to do is come up with another 1. We could either sacrifice the Toad and recommission it. We can just play a land, right? Sure. Get it as big as possible. Get it super big. It's perfectly fine. I don't know. They could have something double strike. That's perfectly plausible. Okay. I mean, they're putting some blockers in the way. They're trying. It's a big dude. Sure. Yeah. Okay. I mean, does it get to 22? If it gets to 22, okay. All right. That's that's cool, but it's not gonna work. All right. So they got it scary there, right? Obviously, you don't really have to worry about a threat getting that big in Pauper, but maybe leave a mana open for a Tinkertoad there. But I don't know. I think a normal play, don't really have to worry about it too much. Excuse me. Yeah, so you see like how many lines just kind of open up there, right? You know, they kill off my Fireweaver, I recommission it, play the second one, play the extra Tinker Toad. You know, they kill off they kill off the Faceless Agent, recommission it. It's going to pull a Skyfisher. Skyfisher bounces the Tinker Toad. Then you replay the Tinker Toad. So it's, I mean, it has a lot of different angles. You know, clearly getting stuff out of play, out of the graveyard can mess with the deck, but it has a lot of things. And I think that's where you're kind of seeing this, this Mardu toolbox that just really excels with it. You've got just too many um, too many good cards, right? I mean, just too many good cards to choose from. I almost get overwhelmed, and you can see my phone kind of struggles a little bit with the internet connection, the speed of it. It's hard for me to play decks like this, just in best of one, let alone like in a tournament stuff. So it's typical for me not to bring a deck like this. It's not that I won't play it or build it. It's just it's difficult. You get games that just lag out and freeze up, right in the middle of a match, and that's inconvenient for everybody. So let's try and get one more here and see if we can get something, like I said, a little bit more challenging. Yeah, this one's a little bit tougher, so I'm going to keep this one. So what you're going to see here is, I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to, well, hopefully we can get some black mana here. Oh boy. Alright, so we're already into Soul Warden territory. So this will be a challenge. Soul Warden decks are pretty tough because our artifact in Tinker Toad creates creatures, and that clearly makes it difficult for us to. Cool, great. And then we got more creatures. Alright, so I guess we'll attack. Try and keep their life low so they don't start creating angels. They're going to go right back up. We'll put that back to hand, and we'll play it back out. So we're kind of mana hosed right now, which, right, that's a problem. So what'll happen is yeah, that's the Johnny card, mate. Yep. Cool. Ugh. Yeah, we're in a bad way here. So we have I think we need to go here and try and get so here's the thing, right? If we put them back up to 25, all they do is gain 1 life, and they're going to get this guy online, and there's really not much more we can do at that point, right? Okay, so they level 2'd it. That's fine. We don't need to block that. There we go. That's important. So I think what we're going to do here is it's worth, let's all attack. It's worth it, I think. Really? They want to get they want to get it bigger. Okay, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Sure. Yeah, hanging in there, stuck on 2 mana, missing a color. 1 ring, perfect. Even better. Try and dig more. Cool. We're okay with that. What we'd really like to see is some black mana. There we go. Let's go tithing. Man, this. Alright, perfect. Yeah, sure. Okay. Alright, hanging on out there. Fine by me. That's fine. So let's pepper this for a little bit. Let's go ahead and let's put out a blocker. Let's chip away at them a little bit. And 1 ring is hard to come overcome when he's drawn a crap ton of cards, so eventually they're just going to overwhelm me. But, I mean, you can see that I think reasonably, even with a really bad start, we recovered really well. Sure. Uh-oh, darn it. They're going to get my recommission if they're smart. If they're not, then they're going to be in a world of hurt. Okay. That's fine. Oh, maybe they've got more stuff to mess with, right? Okay. Oh, no, they've got a whole bunch of... Yeah, they're just drawing a ton of cards. Yeah, I don't know why I'm making a big deal of it. Alright, so I'll just play that out. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard when you're dealing with this much. So let's bring back our Core Skyfisher. Let's put that in. Let's go ahead and play it again. Figure they sacrificed their little leakage Johnny. Yep. Come across with turn 2. And there we go. Of course, that's bonkers. Yeah, we can pack it in now. That card is stupid. With the 1 ring, I mean, it's, there's not much you can do in a historic best of 1 when you start getting to that point in the game where they have a card that's going to draw them 5, exponentially more cards every turn, and then they're going to gain all the life back that they lost, right? So it's ridiculous. I mean, there's no way I'm going to wait them out to mill out, so I'm not going to go through that rigmarole. But, I mean, I think against something that is a little bit more normal, fair, closer to Pauper, I think even with a really bad start like that, we're okay and we recover fairly well. So again, I like how the deck was pretty resilient there. You can see the intricacies with Tithing Blade. Obviously, you make him sacrifice a creature, you bounce it, you make him sacrifice again, you let your creature block something and die off. And then you recommission and sacrifice. Yeah, why they didn't choose the recommission, I don't know. I mean, that was the smart play. Taking daily dispute was kind of a stupid thing. I don't think they quite understood the interaction. And maybe they were worried about me getting more mana on board, more cards, but yeah, I don't know. It's weird. This is mediocre. I'd probably pitch it, but all my colors are here. We can, you know, we can survive for a bit. So we'll give up a little bit of our advantage. Which one are they playing? Lorian? Okay. Sure. I'm okay with returning this to my hand. Don't like it, but, whatever. There we go. Okay. Having two of these guys in the opening hand is a little rough. Let's keep this and see if they are silly enough to tap out with their hexproof creature. Okay, sure. Cool. What did they... Sure. Thanks. This is slow going on my mana. Oh boy. Extinction event. Yeah, that's something you never have to worry about in Pauper. Nothing that exiles everything. The card is stupid, but whatever. Okay. I mean, I'm sure it's fair for this, but I'll bring their Yorion online. This will be another matchup that it's gone too long. I was a little bit too slow, like not putting any pressure, right? It's okay to be a little slow in building things, but going down to down on lands and then getting wiped out by an extinction event because they can play every single color, right? Got a little bit more black in there. Come on. But we still have one Skyfisher left, and we have all of our things, which again, if it just killed things, that would be fine, but exiling them, that makes it a little bit more difficult. Alright. We can get rid of the extra lands. Oh, it's not Yorion, it's that guy. Oh, did they already... Oh, that's what they spent it for. Cool. Cool, this will be fun. Yeah, I mean, whatever, this is over unless we get Tithing Blade. just gonna try and exile everything out of my yard. Okay, cool. What's this thing do? Indestructible. Okay. Did we happen to get a tithing blade? Oh, bummer. That would have been nice. So let's recommission blood fountain. Cool. Let's blood that. Hey, there we go. Let's tie the blade. Cool. The spark double. Oh no. Let's see if we can't get. Alright. Yeah, that's a lot. I want to put that up. Cool. Let's yeah, we needed to just try and get more yeah, we needed that tithing. We needed a way to sacrifice the tithing blade to recommission it again. Oh well. Again. They got me. So that's kind of the delicate balance, I guess, that we walk in historic queue, where if you're facing something that is like slower, but is allowed to just build to whatever its big play is, they usually have just game-ending plays. Had we hit like a tithing blade when they only had the one or two creatures, or a way to sacrifice it on that turn, like if we would have had tithing blade, deadly dispute, we had it all right there to just wipe their board and then make them start over. So that was cool. It happens. Yep, we're still good. Again, slow, but we've got cleansing to get our white, and then we can kind of go from here. Not ideal. Oh boy, we're dealing with poison counters. That would be rough. So what we'll need to do is just try and put pressure out on the board. So Tinker Coat remains important here. But let's I think I want to cancel it. I mean, they've got a counter spell, right? They're gonna play something at flash speed, I'm guessing. I don't know. I don't know what they're waiting for. I've got plenty of things to, maybe they're setting it up so they can just kind of go off and get me to 10 poison counters in one fell swoop. Very permanent. Cool. Alright. So let's Tinker Tote. Let's put out another Blood Fountain. Not doing anything, but it gives us a lot of counter. So now if you were playing like something like Affinity, you know, we've got how many artifacts out here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So lots of artifacts. I don't think they're going to put out a creature, but they might, and if they do, we kill it. Okay. I see. So we've got all these spells, alright. And they just happen to have all of the things that matter on that. Okay. Sure. Sure. Alright. Let's get... Okay. So, let's play that out. Guess we'll do that. Put that back in. Ensure it gives them more things to kill. We really need to get some draw here. Yeah, it looks like they're playing the control version of this, so cool. I wonder if I could have voltage surged my own guy to preserve that. Frequency weld. I'll try and put some sort of pressure on them. I'm already halfway to dead. I'm sure they've got, I mean, what, 5 cards in hand. I mean, I'm fortunate they haven't drawn too many lands, but I mean, they could do it here, you know, now. So this could easily be a loss. So I wonder what happens. Let's try. Yeah. Does it prevent the proliferate? It does. Oh, okay, cool. Interesting. Good to know. My turn. There we go. That's kind of nice. Got a blood fountain. So if they try to kill something, we'll deadly dispute it. Each opponent sacrifices a creature token. Okay. Okay. They're drawing it out. That's for sure. That's cleansing this one. opponent sacrifices and gets a thing. Okay. Okay. We only need 4 more. Cool. Alright. That. I only need 4 more. So turn exiles a creature or planeswalker they control with the greatest mana value on creatures they control. Okay with that. Alright. Let's put this guy out. Man, this is going really choppy now. What do we have in here? We have a little cool skyfisher. And did all that without any skyfisher. Alright. You know, 2 cards. And you lose 2 life. Each opponent gets. Alright, they got me to 7. Yeah, I was expecting a little bit more from poison counters, honestly. Yeah. Well, we got there. I mean, honestly, I think the Pauper version of that deck is better. I don't know, man. Maybe they just got clunky draws, but somehow we manage with a really weird draw. Going aggressive with 1/1 tokens. Oh, man. Alright, so we're hitting about an hour. This thing's going to take forever to get downloaded. In case you don't remember the deck that we're looking at, we'll go back to it. So it's kind of a amalgamation or combination of taking some of the, I guess, key components of the core Skyfisher deck, where we're going to put core Skyfisher in with in our Mardu shell. We're going to retain we're going to use core Skyfisher. It's going to bounce things like Tinker Tote. It can come back via recommission. You can get extra tokens off the Justicar with the Tinker Tote. You can bring back Tithing Blade with core Skyfisher and recommission. And we'll also get you pings from Reckless Fireweaver or bonuses on just a car. We can use our voltage surge to sacrifice things. We got Cleansing Wildfire and the Artifact lands to help us grow our mana a bit. Fireweaver obviously is going to get the main damage sources. Faceless Agent, make sure we see it. We can recommission that to get more creatures out. We've got Vampire's Kiss gives us a little bit reach. I mean, this might be a card that we can have a little room in to add more removal, or things that help us that we don't need as much reach. We could trim that down to like maybe 2 copies, right? Obviously Tithing Blade takes care of the bigger creatures as long as we're getting rid of the removal or the little ones. So things in your sideboard like End the Festivities to take care of like 1/1 creature swarms, especially ones that can be flyers. Emergency Weld acts like our 5th recommission. So I mean that's kind of the deck. It's just nice Mardu synergy pile with artifacts. If you wanted to, again, you can cut a color, you can keep it as it is, in Mardu and push into, like a more affinity heavy deck. I mean, heck, you could probably run Esper, you could run Grixis. I mean, there's a lot of ways that you can go about messing with this. One of the other little tricks, you have like Planner Incision. I think people forget that also can target artifacts. So Planner Incision can flicker essentially a creature or an artifact, so that's in blue. So you have that with what's the name of the white spells escaping me right now, that costs 3 mana, flickers a enchantment or a creature, so that one doesn't really work in normally what you would do, but in blue you've got Planner Incision to do that. But anyway, that's kind of the whole outline of the deck. You saw it stumble against like obviously big decks that can put big plays out there, but all in all it does pretty well. So I hope you liked it, and I'll catch you again next time.